Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Deku. We also had Bakugo and Kai. Now, Izuku gave Ataya that date he promised her. However, things got sidetracked, and they had to fight a Tekadon and save Bakugo. Later that day, Izuku went back to base and found a gift from Princess Luma in his room. He was a bit paranoid about what it could have been. However, as it turns out, it was a harmless box of treats Luma baked for him. And this told Izuku a few things. His work-life balance is a bit off. It has been 4 days since Mina broke up with him, and she decided to leave the planet to go to Anodyne. And it certainly has been complicated for Izuku. Now, he called Bakugo and told him a few things about the situation. And while they were heading out to go see his grandfather and the plumber's helpers, an aircraft fell from the sky. They went to go investigate, and Melissa, she was there to see everything. She was spending time with the plumber's helpers when this happened, along with Helen, Manny, Alan. All of them were there. And Izuku was surprised when that capsule opened, and instead of there being a pilot and alien, there was a earthling, an earth woman. They got her back to the campsite, and Melissa gave the girls some of her spare clothes. When they tried to find out who she was, she had a clear gap in her memory. She doesn't recall anything. The only thing she doesn't understand is her name, Eunice. That's it. And right now, it raises a number of questions. Izuku, he was surprised that this all happened, though he was more surprised the warning his future self gave him. Now, with that being said, let's pick up the next day with Bakugo Katsuki. Bakugo is currently laying on the ground. He's in a tent, and he was asleep. He woke up to the sound of pots and pans banging together. And right now, he doesn't really like it. Currently, him going to set up as Kai does get to wake up as well. Her talking about that damn ringing in her ears. And this, it does want to annoy her. And right now there is where Ken does talk about it. Bakugo opening up the tent as the old man does express about how he's cooking breakfast right now, and if all of them at least want a chance at seconds, then they're gonna have to get up. And Bakugo does a step out and talk about it, turning to the fire pit asking if there's coffee made. Got a fresh pot brewing right now. Already had a few cups. Might want to hurry though. Manny tends to drink straight from the pitcher sometimes. Gotta keep an eye out on that. Gross. Yeah, usually he gets the last, let's just say call on it. Bakugo going to turn, looking at a few of the tents here and trying to remember. Okay, so the guys are in that one, the girls are over there, and Izuku's tent is that one? He brought his own tent out here. A little big, but maybe he just grabbed his parents' tent? Didn't expect Melissa to be out here. Though they do have more people, I guess, so there definitely is that. Bakugo going to think. Him going to bring his hands up and grab the tools. Him being to walk around and ding some of them together. As everyone, they do get to wake up as Ken does go back inside the RV. And the screen door is closed. Now, currently there actually is where Bakugo does a walk over to Deku's tent. Him is trying to yell for Midoriya to wake up since it's morning. And when he does to unzip it, Deku's not inside. He's already up? Right. That's a bit concerning then. Where is he? Bakugo gonna fully stand, turning his head and seeing a guy staying there facing away from the RV. Him staring at it for a second, before he has to drop the pans and run over. Him gonna turn and look face to face with Alien X, since he's just standing here. This guy with the body made of the cosmos. That's not good. Him bringing his hand up, and in front of Alien X, waving it gently to ask exactly if there's anyone home. And he just won't yell out, trying to get everyone's attention as there is where Ken, he does talk about it, turning expressing to somebody to go see what exactly Baku's yelling about. And there is actually Eunice, who when she has to step out of the RV with Alan and Melissa, they all do get to walk over, currently them seeing this strange alien, and Baku standing in front of it, as Deku does return to normal, him turning human and looking around. What? Morning already? Dude, are you okay? Yeah. Just had some business to attend to. I was gonna handle it tomorrow, but I just thought I'd get it out of the way as fast as possible. I didn't think about much, really. How long you been like that? A while. What time is it? It's about 7, Izuku. Him turning and seeing his grandfather. The man expressing. He went to sleep last night, didn't he? I'm fine. Just. So, what's for breakfast? Everyone a little tense. And Izuku, he does gonna turn and walk away. And Bakugo, he is a bit worried about that. And Ken, he does share that very same concern. Because Izuku, he didn't sleep last night, if they heard that correctly. So, what does that mean for him? Now, Deku, he currently does go inside. Him getting some eggs, sausage, and pancakes. As everyone, they do begin to sit down around the fire pit, talking about a few things. And Manny, he's a bit happy. So far, they've only been eating fish and a ton of other foods here out in the woods. They found some edible mushrooms, some bugs, and they have even done a little bit of hunting. I mean, yeah, this is a training exercise, but it just feels more like, what's the right word? They're at summer camp? Or the Boy Scouts, I mean. Huh. It's much more than that, Manny. Ken gonna sit down, bring his hand up with a cup of black coffee. Going to express between sips. It's a bit more like this. What he wants to understand is how to survive off the land, and how to diversify their palate. I mean, the other day he did make that one stew. It might have been a bit harder to stomach, but he's a Tetraman. They can stomach a lot of things. And Alan does express. He understands that. He's not denying it. But, how about they grill up cheeseburgers tonight? Instead of beetle chili again? You guys had beetle chili? Yeah, it was, really bad. It sounds gross. Deku turned to Eunice, before expressing. Sort of. I mean, the first few times you have it, it's hard to get a taste for. But whenever you can season it correctly, you can almost tell it's not beetles. Though you still might need a blindfold. And she does at least try to ask about the taste. And Izuku, he does try to describe it. Before he does a stand. Him heading back to the RV, telling his grandfather. He's gonna head out for a hike. He wants to clear his mind for a second. You sure about that, Izuku? Yeah. We're good on firewood, right? We are. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Him gonna set down his cup of coffee, and then gonna turn. Heading out to the RV and going to walk over to his tent. Him wanting to change out of his pajamas and head out. And there currently is Eunice. Eunice is a bit more intrigued. She wants to head out too. I mean, the forest is alive. There's so many things out here to explore, to see. And she doesn't stand, talking about how she does want to head out there with him. There's a lake nearby too, right? A river. Sort of large sometimes, but there is a lake not too far away. I'm sure if you ask Izuku, you can head out there? Hmm. Honestly, that does sound pretty good. Not too bad. Well, we can do some good fishing there. Maybe catch ourselves some fish for lunch. Or maybe gonna open his mouth, talking about it. They could have the burgers. And, do something else. I mean, how about something better for dinner? They do have cash, right? This can't just be survival training anymore. It's a bit more like a, uh, actual trip, right? Manny trying to convince Ken, since he wants some actual decent food. And Ken does express. Fine, fine. He'll whip something up for dinner. Though, it's gonna need to be a little bit more fancy. Thank you. How I'm gonna express. And Izuku, he has a step out of his tent and stand there. Currently, he's gonna turn and make his way towards the woods. In Bakugo, he has a stand. Him and Ken both making their way into the RV, as Eunice does begin to follow Izuku. And there actually is everyone, they are somewhat left there. Them trying to talk about a few more things. And Melissa, she does at least try to tell everyone about what's happening. And we do currently cut over to Bakugo and Ken. Ken does begin to prepare a few things. Him cleaning up some of his dishes, and then going to turn, starting another pot of coffee. Before Bakugo does express, he's a bit worried about Izuku. Currently, him walking over and beginning to run some of the water, since he does want to wash the dish in his hands. And Ken does a turn. You're telling me. He's a little distant. How's he been doing? Considering everything, relatively good. You gonna talk to him? I can try. Not much really to say. How did he react after his hit? A little paranoid, I guess. Though that paranoia keeps you alive. Yes, it does. It's good that you know that. I've had to. Trust me. I might not have gone through all the official channels to become a plumber yet, but I've been out there in space long enough to know what to do and what to avoid. Who to avoid. Okay. So, have you talked to Mina? Not me personally. Kai has talked to Mina, though. It's just a lot of stuff has been happening. Have you talked to Mark? Mark's called me. Still a bit strange to talk with him over the phone after all this time. Sounds strange, huh? Talking to a dead man, Bakugo. Of course it's strange. People don't usually come back. And if they do, they're not right. You're saying it's not right that Mark came back? I never said that. It's just, you don't expect them to come back the same. He did. It doesn't sit right with your gut because you know you lost the person. You mourn them. You know they should be gone. But when you can hear their voice, you can hear them, see them, smell them, it's different. Old stubborn bastard's alive. And I watched him die, Bakugo. Izuku's been able to do a lot of things. He's capable of a lot. I won't say he deserves a slack, but cut him some. Cut him some. Kai's been a bit worried about him. You saw the way he was looking at Eunice last night, right? I did. Though he's curious. He's moving on. Don't you think it's a little too fast? Not sure. Bakugo, his life is stressful. I'm not saying it's right, but considering the position he's been put in, I'm not sure. He's trying to just be friends with her. Maybe, but you don't know that. You're right, I don't. Talk with him, Bakugo. See what's on his mind. He'll only take this old man's advice so much before he feels like it's not needed. And the fact that he's a man now means it might not be needed anymore. He'll try and make the best decisions for Earth. He's been trying. Besides, if I do remember correctly, you're partially the reason that he's been put in this position. I I apologize for that. I tricked out his car for him. You did. Hmm. And here I thought he would have come to me for that. I mean, he talked about going to you, but he wanted some more modern tech. You know, the Rust Bucket is a bit older, out of date. Call it out of date all you want. It's got some old, reliable tech in it. That's what it's got. Though, if you're that concerned, Bakugo, talk to your best friend. I'll look into it. Thanks. You, you knew my dad, right? He was a good man, Bakugo. But he's gone. If you're thinking about asking Izuku about it, I'm not sure. But it would be possible. Bakugo, have you ever met your father? No. He was Osmosian. That's all I've really got. My mom told me stories. And, well, that's it. That's all I have. Ever since I was a kid, he just sounded like this hero. He died like one. Right. I'm, uh, I'm just gonna go back outside. Maybe try and track Izuku down. Knock some sense into him. Careful. He might knock some sense into you back. He did before. Bakugo gonna turn. Talking about it. He was a kid before. And right now he does step out of the RV. And we do currently have Deku and Eunice. The two are making their way down the path. And right now Izuku, he has a number of things going through his mind. It's been a while. It's felt a lot longer. Mina and him broke up. I mean, he didn't want to, but they did. And he wants to know what it's like being in her shoes, being in her mind. He can live as one of the species in the Omnitrix, if he wanted to. And it's just a thought going through his head. Go Anodite. See how it feels. Will it be the same for him as it is for her? It's a thought that goes through his mind. And Deku, he does bring his hand up. Him fumbling with the dial of the watch and walking. And there actually is Eunice. She was looking around. She felt like she was seeing all this for the first time. She probably was. She doesn't know if she's from a small town, a big city, or even from this planet. All of it just looks so surreal and beautiful. And Deku's gonna turn. Her gonna fall forwards as soon as she's gonna hit the ground. Deku turning his head and walking over quickly. Hey, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm okay. It just all of it looks so surreal, so green. You might want to watch where you're going. You could actually get hurt. Okay, just stick close. Okay. Her getting to her feet. and currently she's at least grabbed Deku by his hand, him turning his head, as he does look back down at the Omnitrix, expressing, he, uh, sorry, no, it's fine. I was just, thinking about a few things about the watch. The Omnitrix. That's what you called it, right? Yeah. So you can turn into aliens. Yeah. Helen, Pierce, Alan, and well, Manny. They're aliens. That's yeah. They're half alien, I guess. Um, that's a little weird. Yeah, it is. Though I have a friend who's half alien too, and another one who actually has a grandmother who's alien. So it's not out of the question. In fact, a lot of humans actually have alien ancestors. And what about you? As far as I know, no. But it's a complicated situation. Listen, I'm not saying I don't want to hold your hand. I was just gonna do something real quick. You wanted to go to the lake, right? The river? Yeah. What are you gonna do? Well, I see I got one of my old aliens back and I haven't used it in forever. So, how about you hold on, okay? Hold on to what? Deku, going to transform. And currently, he does go to stand there. As he does have tendrils on his head, a tail, and his legs, they look a bit weird. And there actually is where Eunice does stare on. As Deku, he turned into a member of Xylene species, or Squidlift. Yeah. Now, Deku's to bring his hands up. Currently, him going to walk over and tell Eunice. This is going to be a bit trippy, but just hold on to him. Her nodding her head. Deku picking her up as she does wrap her hands around him. And he does begin to fly up into the air. And she does look down. Deku flying above the tree line and turning his head to look around. And this, it does remind him of the good old days. When he first started to use his transformation, it was interesting. It gave him an alternative to Stinkfly and his other flying alien, the one he thought was better at the time. He looked through the Omnitrix to see what he had, and he certainly found something interesting. Currently, Deku flying over the trees, and Eunice does stare down, finding it to just be amazing. And Izuku, he does go to find the river running before he's out of land and transform back into a human, talking about it, walking over and bending down to the water. It all looks fine. That was cool. Thanks. Izuku, you do know what you could do with that, right? What do you mean? I mean, it's just so many options. It's incredible. Yeah, yeah, it is. You don't sound happy about it. Is something wrong? No, it's just I've had the watch for years. It's kind of defined who I am for a while. What do you mean? I'm saying, Eunice, it's just I've gotten into a lot of trouble because of this thing. It's a bit weird. I've had to deal with threats that just want to destroy your planet. Deku gonna fully stand. Him going to walk over and sit down on a rock, talking about it. It's just he's able to count the amount of times he saved the world, saved multiple worlds. He's just finding it complicated. He's even saved the universe, and he doesn't like bring that up. He's done it once, he'll have to do it again. He knows that. It's just, he doesn't know when it's going to happen or what. He also just overall has a crazy life. Oh, come on. I wouldn't call your life crazy. Hers stepping forwards and gonna bend down, talking about it. His life is interesting. I mean, he says he saved the world, right? That's cool. A lot of people must look up to him. Or do they not know? They know now, but it's just everyone sees me as this, the watch. They don't see me as a Zuko anymore. I mean, I don't dislike being famous, but I've I'm gonna sound crazy, I know, but I've time traveled, been in alternate realities, fought a lot of crazy things, and met a few versions of myself. Let's just say that I'm not exactly normal. I know a time traveler, for Christ's sake, and I know the advanced civilization that built my watch. I've been to that planet, and I've dealt with a ton of villains. Even Ghost Freak. And that one scared the hell out of me whenever I was a kid. Her bring her hand up, and right now, putting it onto Izuku's arm. And he does look up. Her talking about it. You know, she doesn't exactly remember a lot of things, but he can talk to her. Right. Listen, I know I'm gonna sound weird, but that's not even one of the weirdest things I deal with. I made a deal with this one alien inside my watch, and because of it, I'm moving faster in time. What exactly do you mean by that? I give this alien in my watch a few days in reality. It's how much time I allow to pass out here, but in there it's a lot more. I help them make decisions for the universe. Really? Yeah. I try and think of the good it could do, or the bad it could do. You'd be surprised. And honestly, we spent a few days debating on just one thing, and I couldn't figure out an answer to it. I don't know. My life is crazy, and I might have a returning villain. I thought it was gone. I thought Ghost Freak was gone, but he's in my watch again. And that's sort of freaking me the fuck out. Her bring her hands up, and pulling Izuku into a hug. And Deku, here's her wrap his arms around her. She hardly knows a thing about him. Or, no, he's been just panicking a bit. He hardly knows a thing about her. But she's just letting him talk. God, he feels a little pathetic. And Izuku, he does sit there with Eunice. Her trying to comfort him. Trying to at least talk him down. He's gonna be okay. He's gonna be fine. He just needs time, right? Like what he told her. It'll take time for her memory to come back. And when it does, everything might be okay. And Izuku, he does a pull back from her. Her giving him a bit of a smile. And it's weird. She's calm. Almost completely so. She's actually happy. Right, right. Well, okay. He can't be scared of this. He's not scared of Alien X that much anymore. He can use that transformation. He knows that, but it's more complicated now. He has to make deals with it. So this Anodite power, if it does begin to affect him in a way, he can turn it off. He just has to focus his mind. Right. I'm going to stand. Currently walking over to the water and talking about it. She might want to take a step backwards. He doesn't exactly know how this might go. And she's going to bring her hands up. Her giving Izuku a thumbs up, talking about how he's going to be okay. Just try and focus. And Izuku, he does not. Before, he had to transform directly into an anodite, thinking of the species. And currently Izuku, he does have to feel it. He feels the way his body changes. He feels the way his mind is affected. And he does stand there. Him not much different. Him in his suit. Or, no, it's his body. But then there's the logo on his chest. And then there's his hair. Deku bring his hand up. And his hair, it's flying up. It's also wavy. And Deku, he does a turn. Him flying up into the air and feeling different. Feeling like a weight's been lifted from his shoulders. Him looking up. And just at the sky. And he does this and start laughing. Him just flying up and then gonna move. Him flying fast around the air. Before Eunice does stare on. He sounds okay. Her is only taking a step backwards. A bit more concerned. And there actually is where Deku, he does go to come flying down. Him flying in front of Eunice and bringing his hands up. Talking about it. He feels amazing. Him bringing his hands up as she does go to reach hers out. Her going to ask him if he's okay. Deku grabbing her hands and beginning to somewhat move around the air and dance with her. Talking about it. He feels better than okay. He just doesn't know how to describe this. It's great. He was worried for nothing. He feels like an idiot. And she just watch on. A bit happy for Izuku. And Deku talks about it. It's incredible. Though he's wondering what he could do. Okay. Mina can do a lot of things with the transformation. Him turning. And he does think against it for a minute. No. He might cause a fire. That's bad. Okay. Let's see. Deku bring his hand up. Currently, him going to have his hand glow as he's a pull up a bowl of water. Him turning to Eunice. And she does this on that ability. Deku tossing it towards her as currently it doesn't open up. The shield allowing the water to fly out a bit like a water gun. And she does actually turn. Her moving and talking about it. Hey! And Deku, he does this on stare. Him flying forwards talking about it. Oh, come on. They're having fun. Besides, wasn't she already going to get in the water? Fair enough. Her bring her hands up. And going to try and reach out and grab Izuku. Deku flying backwards talking about it. Miss me. Her going to stare at him. And Deku just fly over the water and bring his hands up. Right here. Come on. Try and hit me. Her does not smile. Running over and throwing her hands down to the water. Her grabbing handfuls of it and trying to hit Deku. And Deku, he does start to fly around. Currently, him moving through the air as is a move from left to right, even bringing his hands up to create a shield. And this is where Eunice does stare on. Her even having an idea. Bring her hands up and then moving forward and falling into the water. Her going to turn and see Deku. And Deku, he has to fly down. Him talking about it. Maybe she needs a hand. And she has to grab Deku's hand. Before, she has to bring her other hand up, and Deku has to bring his hand out. Her splash him directly into the face and staring at him. Before she's going to get an idea. Her seeing Deku as he's to bring his hand up, grabbing and trying to move the water out of his eyes. As she's to press onto the Omnitrix, and Deku is to fall into the river. The two going to smash into the water. And Deku, he doesn't get back up. Real funny. Oh, come on. I thought it was cool. Besides, it actually worked. You'd be surprised. Though, how do you do that? I just tapped it. Really? Fair enough. Though, him going to actually stand, talking about it. Maybe they should get out. It's a little deep right here. Him going to walk over. And Eunice is a turn. Her grabbing Deku's shirt and pulling him backwards into the water. Before she's a run out and talk about it. Her turning. Don't start something he can't finish. Her going to run back to the campsite. And Deku, he has to get out of the water again. Him going to bring his hands down and going to wring out his shirt a bit before he does a move, feeling the water in his hiking shoes. Now, Deku, he does it a run down the path, currently him chasing after Eunice. And this, it turned out to be a lot funner than he thought. I mean, it's only what? His first, second day out here, and already enough he feels better, more relieved. And currently Zuko, he does go to bolt down and catch up to Eunice, her turning and bring her hand out, trying to block Deku from passing her. And Deku, he does a turn, bring his hand up and trying to at least move Eunice's above, trying to at least get past. Though she does a turn, her going to look at Deku as Deku, he does continue running. And there actually is where she does a turn, her jumping at Deku as the two go tumbling onto the ground. And Izuku, he doesn't sit there for a minute. Before Eunice does talk about it, her going to get back up and turn back. That she's gonna Deku bring his hand up, grabbing her foot as she's a turn. Hey, let go. No, you cheated. Him going to transform. Currently talking about it, and he's not going to let her win. Her talking about how that's cheating. What are you going to do? Her staying in front of him, expressing. She's not moving. I can just go past you, know that, right? Maybe. Or maybe not. Him turning human, stepping forwards. It's not just that simple. Maybe, but you stopped. Yeah. Though, shouldn't you be running? Why? Something I should be scared of? No. Him going to bring his hands up, talking about it. Though she does have a rock in her hair. Him going to pull the rock out as she does a stare his hand. Her bring her hands up and grabbing Niku's arm. And he does a stare down at her. She's a strange girl, but she's something about her is so alluring. He doesn't get it. It's so weird. She's nice. She's understanding. There's something about her he feels like he's lost. She's interesting. And Deku does lean down. Her going to lean forwards as the two, they do to share a kiss. And we do currently have Bakugo. Bakugo, he was going to try and catch up to Izuku. Though, Kai wanted to talk to him about what to do with him, since he's clearly a little out of it. Maybe Izuku does need to blow off some stress. However, if he does try to just stop him from talking to someone, that could be worse. Maybe sit him down privately, or maybe actually see what's wrong with his best friend. And Bakugo, he was going to try and give Deku some tough love. But maybe pushing more on this guy might break him. I mean, it happened to Mina. She was pushed to a breaking point, and she just kept pushing. At least that's what Izuku described. Right. Maybe she's right. And Izuku, he does come walking back out of the forest. Him and Eunice both covered in some dirt and mud, and their clothes are wet. And Izuku, he does talk about it. Currently, Helen standing up and asking if something happened. No, no, we're fine. We fell into the river. Sure, we did. Though, he tested out that one thing, the anodite. Currently, Kai having her eyes go wide. Anodite? Are you serious? Yeah, I have to say that was a lot different than what I thought it was. Though I just felt, I don't know. Them staring at Izuku, and he looks like he's happy. He looks like he's wired. He's certainly in a better mood. And Izuku just talk about it. Check it out. Him bringing his hands up and transforming. Currently, him staying there and turning to Eunice, talking about it. He can fly! Him shooting up into the air and moving fast. And Bakugo and Kai do stare at this. And Bakugo, he does a whistle. Deku, spinning in circles, adds a stop, looking down and talking about it. What? He's having fun. Is he not allowed to have fun anymore? Dude, people might see you. We're the only people out here for miles. I'm fine. Besides, we come out here all the time. At least, no, wait, that was a different place. My bad. Is he okay? I honestly don't know. Should we stop him? Maybe not. He's an anodite, remember? Yeah, but look at him. They go flying back down and going to land. But we're talking about it. I mean, he feels great. He feels like a weight's been lifted. Before he's turned human, and Izuku expresses to Bakugo, walking over. How about this? They go racing later. Maybe see how fast they can get up to. See about actually doing a proper race. You're on. Kai going to bring her hand up and shove it into Bakugo's rib. Currently, him turning to her and looking back. Listen, Izuku. Before that, can we have a talk? Uh, sure. What about? About a few things. Come on. I have to go get a few things from the store anyways. Let's take my car. Sure. Him turning. Telling Eunice they'll be back soon. Him waving her off as he's a walk over to the car. And Bakugo does express to Izuku. When he does open the door and sit down. You know, he's real lucky those transformations. They do fix a lot about him. Fair enough. Though, I mean, come on. My clothes are still a little dirty. Yeah, but at least you're dry. And not covered in mud. Fair enough. Though, what do you want to talk about? Let's get down the road first. Currently, Bakugo backing up his car and then going to spin it around. Them making their way away from the campsite. And Eunice, she just doesn't stare on. Her walking over and apologizing to Melissa for kind of messing up her clothes. And Melissa talks about it. There's a washer aboard the ship. It's no big deal. But, if she does want to take a shower and get changed, she can. I mean, me and Izuku were talking about maybe heading out to the lake later. I mean, if we all go down there, we could party. That does sound fun. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I mean, it's just, you guys are all cool. If I do gain my memories back and I might have to leave the planet, I don't want to leave without bad memories. I mean, I might be royalty, right? Or someone important. That's why they sent me away. Or someone sent me away, right? That is an option. Yeah, besides, I mean, I don't know if this will ever happen again. Maybe. We might keep in regular contact just to see how you're doing. I know, but come on. Why don't we just take a day off? Melissa turning, looking at Helen, talking about it. It could actually be fun. Besides, she's not going to say no to a beach day. They get actual food, they have some actual fun, take a day off from training. That sounds like an A plus to her. Uh, it sounds good. Mm, yeah, let's do that. Especially since training's kind of been a little sidetracked anyways. Currently, Eunice going to jump forwards and talk about how she's going to get changed. Though, does she have any other spare clothes? Her running up the ramp to the ship, and Melissa does her jump up a bit. Since Eunice is definitely excited, it's kind of infectious. And currently there is Kai, who does going to stand and try to make her way over to these two. She's intrigued by what's happening. I mean, coming out here to have some fun was the idea. And, well, yeah. It'll definitely let her keep an eye on Eunice. Bakugo's talking to Izuku. She'll talk to her. And with that being said, let's currently cut over to Bakugo, as Deku is in the car. Him asking exactly what he thinks he's doing. What do you mean? With Eunice. I mean, dude, it hasn't even been a week and you're already trying to move on? What are you talking about? Dude, Mina. I. Bakugo, it's complicated. Doesn't seem complicated, dude. You were with Kendo, you broke up with her. You moved on a few months later. It took you months then. And you and Mina, you guys thought you'd actually, you know, uh, yeah, you're right about that. Got something to say? Uh, I mean, sort of. Bakugo pulling the car over and turning. What do you mean, sort of? What's wrong with you, dude? You've been acting weird. Uh, Bakugo, I don't. Well, just. It's just what? Spit it out already, dude. Otherwise, you're getting out and walking back. Okay, fine. Listen, you know how you found me as Alien X this morning? Yeah, you said you were like that for a while. Yeah, you had us concerned. Did you sleep? I never went to bed last night, Bakugo. I've, been trying to honor my agreement with Bellicus and Serena as fast as possible. It's given me a lot of time to think things out, and I've been busy with that. It helps me pass time in there. So, wait, you were Alien X for how long? Of almost 3 days? And how long has that been to you? A little over 3 months. Oh my god, this is explaining a lot of shit. So, you're saying you've been coping with everything faster? My god, Izuku. Okay, I understand a bit more now. But 3 months, man? Are you kidding me? Weren't you trapped for nearly half of that? Half a year? Yeah. So why would you willingly do that to yourself? Bakugo, I was honoring a deal. Besides, I dealt with a lot of the easier stuff. And it just it gave me something to do. I didn't want to be in my own shoes at the moment. It was a distraction. Take my mind off of the shooter, take my mind off of Mina, take my mind off of Atea and Luma. Besides, if I do make things good with Belkis and Serena, I can use their power. It was a good strategy. So, you used your breakup as a plan? No, Bakugo. It just... I thought about it. I give them an hour a week, and that was... That was a while. Days were weird. Wednesdays turned into Mondays. Tuesdays were Fridays sometimes. So I just ripped off the band-aid and did it all at once. I tried to, at the very least. I just had to take a break at some point, and I didn't want to go back there. Too much at once. I just slept it off after that. Uh-huh. So, oh my God, Izuku. You know, Kai was worried about you, right? Was she? Yeah, and that made me worried. You got everyone worried, dude. Maybe talk about it? Especially if you're gonna try and pursue Eunice, dude. Does she know about Mina? She knows Mina and I used to be friends. But she doesn't know Mina's your ex. No, I haven't really told her about that. She doesn't think I'm weird. You are weird. Yeah, Bakugo, I know. But she doesn't think so. I don't I don't know if it's just how I've been feeling or what. Taya, Luma, those two are weird. Don't get me wrong. Taya's cool. She's a girl you can blow stuff up with. Likes guns, tech. I mean, a lot of things, but she wants to blow up our planet if I don't marry her. And then there's Luma. She likes to fight. She likes to, well, let out her aggression. She isn't she isn't afraid of really showing off that she'll just throw a punch. Not try to handle her. A bit much. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is. And then there's Eunice. Yeah, Eunice. She's normal. She fell from space, Bakugo. I don't think normal is really my type. Fair enough. But, listen. Bakugo, gonna put the car back in a drive. Talking about it. If this does come back to bite him, then it might be a problem. You know that, right? Maybe. But I don't think I'm that worried about it. How do you know she likes you? You could say, how did you know? Did you kiss her already? Well, I mean, she kissed me. And how'd that go? I'd say pretty good. Also, I might need to learn more about the Anidites. Use this power, get used to it, and... Well, I just like the way it feels. The Omnitrix is a device made to know other species. Know what they go through. And what I went through, Bakugo, I don't know how to really describe. The Omnitrix, it has this strange function in it. It always lets me know certain things. I don't know if it's just instincts or hardwiring in the biology of the DNA. It's my best guess. But whenever I went Inidite, for a second, I didn't feel like myself. I was free. They're a free-spirited race. They don't bend to authority. All that pressure I felt on my back for years, it just wasn't there. I don't know. I just, my problems were a million miles away. I didn't think anything negative. I just thought of a lot of things. It's a little scary, actually. So would it affect you like wrath? Feedback? Sort of. But this was different. I focused on my emotions. I wanted to be calm, and I felt free. I don't know if that's how Mina feels, but the way she describes it being in a heightened emotional state, I get it. I might have better control over it instinctively, but that might just be the Omnitrix helping me. She's got to learn more about it. I get it though. Why she doesn't like the plumbers now after her experiences. Her biology is conflicting with her upbringing. That's my best guess. You've gotten all philosophical for a second there, right? Maybe. No, I don't know. I just I hope you can understand all of this. I want to get to know Mina's species better. When she comes back, I can help her. Me and her might, well, not be friends, but I can let her know how I'm able to control it. Give her an insight. I thought about using Alien X to help her. Do more. But I don't want to change her. Funny. I thought you already did change something. I didn't. Besides, if I did change something, would I really let people know about it? Another thing that terrifies her. Right. Then again, I do hope you keep all this secret. And if I don't, you try to blackmail me, Bakugo. Same thing can happen. I still have that audio log. Bakugo's staring at Deku. And Deku, he does stare back at Bakugo. His secret's already out. Mina already knows. That conversation they had, that information, it's useless to Bakugo. And Deku, he knows that. And Bakugo does see it. Deku, he wants to run from his problems. He wants to get away from them. He liked being that Anodite. And right now, meeting somebody who he can talk to, who doesn't know anything about him, who actually might be able to help, it's interesting. He's not really too sure what type of mind state Deku's in. He's not in a good one, though. Then again, hopefully he knows what he's doing. And Bakugo does express this to Izuku. Be careful. If it does blow up in his face, then, well, how about this? They go out and they break something. Right. Sure. I don't know though. Eunice, she's just got this aura around her. Magnetized? Maybe. Not sure. Now, with that being said, the two, they head to the store. And when they get there, they do pick up a few things. Them heading back, and the group, they head out to the lake. Currently, Ken getting a few things started with a grill. And everyone, they do play in the lake. Helen and Manny, the two, they were a bit excited about this. I mean, yeah, both of them can swim, but Manny being a big, large Tetraman, he's got to be a bit more careful. Yeah, he can swim, but drowning, he's a lot better at that. And Helen, she might be light and able to run on the water, but at the same time, too far out, she isn't a big fan of. Especially because with her speed, she might cause a bit more of a whirlpool. So she'll just stay in the shallow end. Though everybody, they went out into the lake, and Ken, he was grilling things up, and seeing how everybody, they were acting. They brought out floaties, and they brought out some drinks, and he made sure that they were all being responsible. And there actually was Izuku. Izuku, he sat there on a floaty, trying to think of what to really do. Currently him just soaking up some sun, as there actually was Eunice, who does gonna turn her head and bring her hand up to her mouth. Her looking at Kai, before she gonna bring her hand up and gonna dive underwater, currently covering her nose. And Deku, he does actually something set up. Him looking around, before turning and looking at Bakugo. And, him looking towards Manny. And Manny, he does go to bring his hands up. Currently him holding two fishing rods, as he's to throw them over his head, and Izuku does it to watch the lines fly far out, and probably about 30 feet to the left. But they definitely arced pretty high. And Izuku does hear a noise. Him turning, as he see Eunice, her bring her hands up and shoving the floaty. Deku flying over it and smashing into the water, before she's a jump up and currently into the middle. Deku turning and gonna get back up onto the floaty. Him staring at her. And Bakugo, he does gonna turn. Him looking towards Kai. And Kai, she is staring on at these two. She's gonna talk to Mina later. Maybe see how she's doing, how she is on Anodyne. I mean, she told her a bit about what happened with that conversation. But at the same time, I mean, how does one really react to a lot of things? Izuku didn't pull her leg on the Anodite transformation thing. That was real. And yeah. If she does talk to Mina, she's gonna have to leave out a few things. She doesn't want to lie to her friend, but the fact that Izuku's moving on rather quickly, it does make her a bit concerned. Especially since Bakugo, apparently his talk may not have worked. The Bakugo, he does currently go to start making his way into land, since he does want to talk to Kai. Let her know everything he knows. Since if she does know from Izuku's point of view how long it's actually been, it might help her out. Then again, there's also something else happening, as currently there actually is Sunder, who is thinking about making his move. Though, his one problem would be the wielder of the Omnitrix. He'd have to get things done when no one would expect it. He'd have to handle this when no one would think anyone would jump in. In this, he's waiting on the right moment, the right second to strike. He could definitely do this. Then again, he might have to go for a hit and run tactic. Wait for the boy to use the Omnitrix again. Wait for it to time out. He's already used it before today. Twice, in fact. And if he does use it a third time, there is a high likelihood it might time out. But then again, it might have recharged. And the man, he is waiting for that one very crucial aspect. This morning, he was strange. Then again, he only just picked up on Eunice this morning. Okay. So the device, it's active. And if he is correct, it is that human female. It looks like that one. Okay. He'll make a move, and this will be simple. And currently there actually is a bit of time later. Everyone was packing things up. Deku and Helen, they begin to move a lot of the stuff here back to the RV, and they were also in charge of cleaning up the trash in the area, since they might have made a mess. And Izuku and her, they had everything sorted within a few seconds. Currently, Deku sitting down and thinking about what exactly to do. I mean, let's see. They had lunch. This morning was a hike. Hmm. Maybe they could watch a movie? I mean, the ship that's right there, Melissa's, it does have a movie, right? I mean, it's got to have an entertainment room, a TV. They could all sit down and watch a movie. Though, what could they pick? What could they pick? Hmm. Okay, no. No. They have the entire intergalactic news system. Or intergalactic entertainment system? Ah, God. There's so many different acronyms for it, but there's. No. That one's just stupid. No. That one, they don't translate very many human languages well yet. They're still getting a handle on the translation errors. Okay, no. That one, yeah, no, that one, eh, okay. Maybe a movie. Earthbound? Yeah, Earthbound movies. They could probably stick to them right now. Hmm. Okay, so they're not going intergalactic. Something still good. But that just poses more questions. Deku's still sitting there, as Accelerate. And Helen does get to ask him if he's okay. Hmm? Yeah, I'm fine. Just, trying to think of a good movie we might be able to watch. um, hmm, not sure. Though, maybe, are we talking Earth, or not Earth? Maybe Earth. I'm just thinking. Something that would be simple? Hmm, maybe. Maybe, uh, Deku gonna turn. And he does that thing for a minute. Right. Do you think we picked everything up? I'm sure we did. Why? Deku gonna hear a sound. Him turning his head as his. No, shit. Him jumping up, running over and going to his tent. Before his bag does have his badge beeping. And the moment Deku does see it, he's gonna grab it, press the button, and turn, yelling at Helen to run. And currently, he's gonna begin to move. Deku going to run to the forest. And Izuku, he does try to think out exactly how the path was back to the area. Him running on the path and then a turn. Seeing Sunder currently flying away and holding on to Eunice. And Izuku, he doesn't need to turn his body. Him throwing down his right foot and then going to leap up into the air. Him moving in slow motion. And Izuku, he immediately does a fly forwards as currently their actions were Eunice. She was grabbed by Sunder and he was flying away. 5 seconds passed, and the moment Deku he got that call, he got active. And currently Deku he's flying through the air. Sunder being struck directly by somebody as Eunice does begin a fall. Deku immediately letting go of Sunder and turning, throwing his hand as Eunice is caught in the air. And Deku he's to throw his hand up behind him, grabbing Sunder and then turning his head. And the guy, he's a lot more alarmed. Because the last time he faced Izuku, he was not this fast. He was not this proficient with his power. And he definitely did not have this alien. And currently Deku, he has a stare at Sunder, bringing his hand up and lifting him up high into the air, before throwing it down and Sunder does a smash it into the ground and colliding with it. Him making an almighty boom. Now, Deku does a turn. Currently, Eunice floating in the air and trying her best not to panic. However, she's totally weightless at the moment and looking towards the ground. And Deku, he does it to pull her up slowly and towards him. But we're talking about it, holding in his hands. He's got her. He's got her. She's okay. Who is that guy? Listen, he's, I've dealt with him before. He's tried to hunt me down. But he's after you? That doesn't make sense. Why is he after you? I don't know. Deku gonna turn, still holding Eunice. And right now he has that fly down towards Sunder. The man gonna get back up as Izuku does bring his hand out. Him being frozen in place as he's a look up towards Izuku. Currently him lowering himself down to the ground and setting Eunice down. Before he's express stepping forwards. Exactly what the hell is he here for? Why is he after her? You wouldn't understand. You collect rarities. You try to collect me. Now, I'm here on vacation. You are after a friend of mine. Someone very important to me already. And I'm going to make this clear. Tell me. Otherwise, I'm going to break something of yours. More than just your gear. You're already making me mad. And here I thought you were a pushover this time. You had me a little less experienced. Last time I checked, you cut off my hand and sent me to a different dimension. I'm still mad about that, Sunder. So while I have control over myself, how about you explain yourself? Otherwise, I send you off of Earth. Let's say a little less than yourself. The man's staring at Izuku, and he has to express he came here for her. Yeah, why? What makes her so important? Royalty? A prisoner? Who hired you? Why is she important? If I told you, you wouldn't believe me. Try me, Sunder. I've seen a lot of things. What makes her special? Tell me, who is after her? Currently, Deku hearing a voice. As they do express, he might want to let him go. And Deku turns his head, staring at Asmith. Asmith. Why are you here? A number of reasons, Izuku. Though, I must say, any time I do send something to this planet, it seems like you always find it. You have something to do with Eunice? Eunice? Is that what she's calling herself? I guess if someone did touch the device, it would make sense that it would turn into an Earthling. Izuku, there's more to this. Deku turned to Sunder. Currently him shoving him backwards and through the air. Him smashed onto the ground. And Deku turns to Asmith, asking him to explain himself. And he does so express. Eunice is not human. She might hold the appearance of one, but that is only because somebody touched the console she was housed in. In fact, she is one of his creations. He sent it here to Earth because there was a situation with a vault on his planet. Fact of the matter is, one of his devices have been stolen. And the Omnitrix, he sent it away for safekeeping. He didn't have time. He thought they were after something else. Thought they were after another device of his. And right now, that's why he's here. Whenever he realized the Omnitrix was activated on Earth, he assumed Izuku might be able to track it down. Though Sunder, he himself informed him of this event. The wielder of his other device found the Omnitrix. Omnitrix? Wait. That name. Her stepping forwards, asking exactly if he gave it to her. Yes. Izuku, look on the back of her neck. Deku turning and transforming into a human. Before, he has a walk over to Eunice, hammering his hand up. Her turning, asking about if he's really gonna trust him. I am. Listen, just let me check. Asmith is, well, an ass, but he knows what he's talking about most of the time. Most of the time. Deku turning and staring at Asmith. And Asmith, he's not just here because of this. Izuku somehow gained master control. That is another concern of his. If the boy found out how to operate the Omnitrix, that means a number of things. Though right now that can be beneficial. Especially because Albedo, he's the one who broke into his vault. He's the one who decided to steal another device. And Izuku, he does go to move Eunice's hair and see this. No. No. Him backing away. Before turning to Asmith, asking what the hell this is. That is Eunice, the Omnitrix. She takes on the appearance of a species and begins to catalog the organic life on their planet. She's not human? But I feel human. Aslan's nodding his head. No, she isn't human. And he wants her to come along with him. He can still put her to good use. He can still do a lot. She is important to his research. And Deku does this stand there in front of her, telling Asmith, no, she's not going anywhere with him. Izuku, you need to step aside. Stand down. No. Asmith, you sent her here. That means she's staying here. You said there's something else? You sent her away because your vault got broken into? What was taken? If it's so important you came here, then it's bad, isn't it? Izuku, the safest option would be to allow her to leave. If Albedo comes back, he will try to capture her. I'll stop him. Izuku, I wish that was the case. Albedo has access to a device. Experimental. It was an idea. A way to show the evolutionary potential of a species. However, when I realized how dangerous it would be, I retired it. It stayed in its prototype phase. The Omnitrix is a tool to understand species. Walk a mile in their shoes. It also gives a plethora of information about the species to the user. Things that you would need to know. However, the Ultimatrix, it's not that. Albedo believes the Omnitrix could be a great weapon, just how Vilgax does. However, the Ultimatrix, it does push that idea. It builds more off of that. If Albedo has the Ultimatrix, you are in great danger. You must understand. Eunice would not be safe here. And you're saying she'd be safe with you? Yes, Izuku. She would be. I know you don't think much of me. But she'd be in safer hands. I'm gonna turn. He doesn't believe it. Ultimatrix? What the fuck is an Ultimatrix? He explained it, but Eunice isn't human. But no, she acts human. She looks human. She looks human. She feels human. She's not a machine. She's real. She's a real person. And Deku turns, talking about how she's staying here. Him looking at Eunice, asking if that's what she wants. Izuku, she is not alive. Him looking back at Asmith, And Azimuth stares at Izuku, him expressing, she is, and he'll keep her safe. This is not going to happen. Azimuth has done a lot, and right now saying this, doing this, it's not happening. She's staying with him. She's not going anywhere she doesn't want to. And the man stares at this. Deku is worried. Though, Azimuth, he does begin to think. Izuku's judgment saved the universe once already. He has taken on Vilgax the Conqueror, and has shown much prowess with the Omnitrix. He figured out Master Control, and he's unlocked a plethora of aliens. If Albedo does come back to the planet with the Ultimatrix, he's not sure if Izuku can handle it. Though, humans, despite lacking the ability to fly, shoot lasers, and or have abilities, they are resourceful. Their ingenuity. The boy alone has already expressed a number of things Azimuth himself would not have thought of. Ways to weaponize the Omnitrix. Ways to convince him otherwise. Humans do have their own special power. Exactly how lethal they can turn anything around them to be. You can call them warriors. That's only because they know how to weaponize the greatest weapon they ever have. The greatest weapon even the Galvans possess. The mind. They know how to use it to make it a deadly weapon. How to build things and plan things out. Humans are unpredictable. And that is what makes them so dangerous. And currently Azimuth is a turn, expressing to Izuku. He will leave Eunice in his care. However, do know this. Against his best wishes, he does this. If Albedo does harm her, or repossess that unit, then that does mean a number of things. He does not know what will happen. He does not know Albedo's plans. And he does not know if he will be able to help himself. But this is now his responsibility. Keep an eye on her, and make sure she is safe. And Eunice does not step forwards, trying to ask, what does that make her then? What is she? So she doesn't have a family? No sisters, no brothers, no mother or father? I'm looking at Eunice, expressing to her. He is her creator. So, he is her father. But as for a mother, no. Sadly, she does not possess one. And with that turn, we're going to disappear, teleporting away. And Sunder, he does still lay there on the ground. And uses a turn, her grabbing onto Izuku as he has to bring his hands down. Her beginning to cry. And Izuku, he finds it hard to say that she's not human when she does that. Her tears are real. She is real. And currently, she's like crying into Deku's arms. Him holding on to her. And with that being said, we do currently have Albedo. Albedo, he did a number of things. He schemed, he planned, he fought. He made sure, after all this time, he can finally do something. Be rid of this human form, the detestable Homo sapien. He despises their transformation. This way the body works. Disgusting. Deplorable. Their food is interesting. However, Albedo, he does not like it. Not one bit. The human experience is one he could have lived his entire life without and forget happily. However, there is only one real redeeming quality about the situation. Currently him holding up his watch and staring at it. He made the necessary modifications. He made sure everything is in place. And currently he is at turn, staring at the tube that does contain the Conqueror of Worlds. Him asking the question, as he does float there. His wounds nearly recovered, closer every day to his full strength. Exactly if he believes he can take him on, if he does believe that he can take down Izuku Midoriya. And Albedo expresses, the Ultimatrix is superior to the Omnitrix in every possible way. It is a fine-tuned weapon, and one he now wields. He already has his victory sealed with this device. So he would say yes, their victory is assured. After he is able to fix his form, he can have the Omnitrix, and he will happily leave him to conquer the planet. He just wants to be rid of this form. Be a fine, proper Galvan once more. That is all he wants right now. That and, well, possibly a plate of, human cuisine. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed, and have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.